Alrighty. Are we live? All I want to know is, are we live? Are we live in his ass? All I want to know is, are yes, we are. Live. I hear myself. Turn that volume down. Thank you, sir. All right. I took the cord out. Here it is right here. Come on. Plug up the camera. Oops. We got the camera started. Bridge 4. Good morning. What? Really? Share screen. So y'all can see. Alrighty. How y'all doing? It took me 2 days to fix the display. You know, the accident, everything got cracked. As you take all the lights and everything. This even got, I had to turn this around, it's got 2 cracks in the front lane. So, I put the new display on. Every other back of line, and the plug is right here. This bike, the plug goes, I had to wind, I wind all tape, go all in here, pull this off, and go inside, and rehook it. You had to do all that? Yeah, just to get a display. So the whole thing was cracked. Like I said, this was my full time riding a bike since the accident, 30 degrees. This is my fourth time riding. The last 3 times, I haven't known the battery level, how fast I was going, or anything. It was just pretty jacked. So now, hopefully, I got it fixed. Yeah, we had to go in there and go through all these wires. I didn't even put them back where I could see. But we're going to find out. If you see something up, you know it's successful. If you don't see anything up, then you go call the hospital. I'm serious. I don't give a. I know I get the button right now. I'm gonna turn the volume down so there ain't no back noise. All right, y'all, the moment of truth. The moment of truth. The moment of truth from Dr. Root. Now, this is kind of cheap. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. So I put the stuff away here. Oh. Wait a minute, what light ain't turning on? Here we go with the phone, bro. I know I charged it, why is it coming on? I know I charged this light, why is it not coming on? Well, we got our first problem already. Why is the light not coming on? There it is. Okay, so let me see, is that better? Or is that better? That was pretty good. Now turn it off. Now go back to the first one, second one, third one. I like that. All right. Now, can we get some more? Hey, man. Come on, please. How's the volume now? Now, take off the helmet.
Look at what I wear for y'all.
I don't know if you want to say on.
Look at what I wear for y'all. Y'all see me unmatched to a T?
No, I'm not going to say on.
Even the socks.
I put it in my pocket.
Whoa.
I know it ain't going nowhere. Ain't gonna put that
Yeah.
Y'all can see the light?
Oh yeah, let me see the lights.
All right. Moment of truth.
Look, y'all, there go the lights.
Let me see this back.
Hey man, let me back it up a little bit.
I put it in my pocket. I know it ain't going nowhere.
Look, y'all, there go the lights right there. See them?
Take off the helmet.
Check out the other balconies. You can tell mine. Look at the lights.
I don't know if you want to say on.
All right, did we turn the display on yet?
No, I'm not going to say on. Let me see this back.
There we go.
This light turning on. Have you just took over? At 5? Oh, that's on 9.
Yeah, we made a good change there. I'm thinking about resetting the whole back. I don't know which one to hit.
What's it?
One of them is a reset.
Oh. My highlight on. My highlight on. Uh-oh.
So we got a display. All right, let's
My
roll.
highlight ain't on. Coming up.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. I'm ready to ride. That's our riding music right there. Here we go. Let's get moving.
I can see the ground. 1,
Do the countdown.
2, 3. Come out there. Yeah, even the count tonight. Somebody will be right there with them. That's why I just stopped. Let the countdown. Somebody will be right there. Go to the countdown. Get this mirror set up here.
Oh, having that light on my head. All right, let's get moving. What's going on in the Lolos? Nobody out? Screw them up. Guess ain't nobody out. Let me know if the volume right, y'all. Is it too high, too low? Let me know. Cause I'm using a microphone. The sound system is under the bed. Is it me or do it look too red? Why everything looks so red? See how I switch back? You said you need to go back to your colors where it says hue. Go to solid red and turn that down, and your green and turn it a little bit down, and your blue. I don't know if we had them settings on the camera. That's all you. Is the light on? The light come on 1 minute. After that, what's going on here? It seems like if there's no outside light, it could be because we smashed the camera. We might have to start using the other camera. I still got it right there. We might have to start using it. Yeah, we might have to start using it. But they don't do it during the day, all it does it at night. I'm trying to think is there a way to fix it? Yeah, it could be because of the accident. The next time we go out, I'm gonna take the old camera. Cause this is unbearable. Is it all like this? Let me fast forward some. Yep, it all look like this. It's not bad here.
One day I'm going to see you Sunday, but you keep going today, ain't it nice? I'm going to let you run around or something. But when you're going to be doing today, it ain't going to be at night. It's a little better than being in a volunteer boat student. Beautiful out here. I got the legs in the moment, the younger feet. I get the legs. I like the mention, but it was still like suspension. Speed up for the jump. I said, speed up for the jump. But don't have your suspension your own. And let me mention, get a bike with suspension. All the time coming around, you don't have to use university, beautiful campus. Welcome in my Joseph. All boys moving great. That's like a bike pass right there. When you might pick it up. Hello. Beautiful back here. Never know when the car gonna come down the rain. And y'all know it's out the way. This is out the way, but I get around riding it. It's so peaceful. It ain't me building the city, I'm waiting to get hot for these. But the lucky is we're in the wind of the whole world. All right, and it is. It is. This is up time. It's time to go. All right. It is what it is. Hey. You don't know what we're doing is going in the circle. Got that right. All we doing is going in the circle like zero. All we just going in the circle. Everything we just going around.
Seems like whenever we get around lights, bright lights.
All we do is come to ourselves. Speak up the shop. I said, speak up for the shop.
Well, it looks like we ain't getting nowhere with that.
Speak up for the shop. Let me mention it. You ain't got no suspension on. And that's what we came up in camp like that. And we got taken by the dogs like 2 to 6 days in Reef. They ain't no dogs down there, not reached up on public property. And the old white man was trying to tell me I was wrong. I was in here like so hood. All we gotta go in a circle. At the same block. You just roll around it. Mm-hmm. We got stop sign. The one way can't go this way. But the one way that way, you way that way. Now we wanted to follow the park back and tell the football we went left. But now we coming up in the liquor store. And hopefully they haven't run out. Alright. And that's three. Let's come from it. 1, 2. I said it. There's a convenience store right there. She said, I forgot my lucky charm, but I want to go hang out. Hang out where? At the Royal Farm. She said, if I got a lucky charm, she's going to hang out at the Royal Farm.
You came over here and brought a net with you. And how he missing the zapper? I don't know. It's 2 of them right here. I don't know how he missing them. I don't know how he missing them. But I know he followed just thinking about over here. I want to get hit. They see I got the helmet in my hand, so y'all wondering why. Well, the light always on here. Okay. Well, you put it right there. Yeah, you went too far back. Figure going to something. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? All right, y'all, this looks terrible. I'm sorry, y'all. That looks terrible. For those of y'all that saw the mobile live, I think the mobile live looked better. I think the mobile live looks better. What do y'all think? I think the mobile live looked better. You ask me. So I know we're gonna have to either do that in the what you call them. So since you know today is Wednesday now, figured might as well go ahead and hit y'all with some late night religion. I found myself asking this question, and so I thought I would do some research because I want to know if Satan is so bad, why does God allow him to exist? Anybody ever pondered that question? If Satan is the reason that we sin, that we deceive each other, that we lie to each other, that we hurt each other, why is it that God allows him to exist? That's a very good question. I asked the Spirit, and then I typed it into Google, and I pulled up a couple of examples of what it said. I didn't look at it. We never do, but we want to see. Does what the Spirit tell me match with what the so-called experts say? So let's get to it. Last time I talked to you about religion, I told you that, you know, when people think of the devil, they think of this red guy with horns and a monster or whatever. The devil is not. The devil is actually handsome. The devil was one of God's early creations. The devil is one of the sons of God, the original sons of God. Us human beings, we're called sons of earth. But when God made Jesus, he made him the master worker, and he had him make Gabriel, Michael, thousands of others. But there was one special one, Lucifer. People fight over the name, but whether you call him Lucifer, whether you call him Satan, whether you call him the devil, the deceiver, whatever you call him, it's the same individual. And he was a very high angel, very high. But this angel saw Jesus make us out of dust. Out of all the serpents and all the other beasts that they created, there was none like us. He considered us weak. We can't fly. We don't do no magic. But we're not strong. You know, like a bear tears apart. Lion tears apart one-on-one. You know, without our weapons. And God gave him the job to come down here and train us up. And Satan is like, what? You want me to go down there and be subservient to them things you made? Those weak little dumb things you made. They don't know nothing. They can't do nothing. You got them sitting down there in the garden playing with the animals and the fruit. You expect me to go down there and be subservient to them? Nah, bro, I'm out of here. Satan didn't understand that God had a plan. All the other things that were created, they were created to do certain things. You understand what I'm saying? They were created to do certain things. They really didn't have a mind of their own. They were created to do something. We're the first beings that were created and given the option mentally what we're going to do. We're the only being. That's what the devil, that I told you, that net that came in with Davey, I told y'all it was going to get caught, and then got caught. That was quick. But you got to realize, I keep stressing it, and I don't think people get it. The devil is jealous. We are in the middle of a fight. The fight is between Father and Son, God and the devil, us human beings and Jesus Christ and the angels, the good angels. We caught in the middle. But there's a battle going on. Like a father versus the son. The son don't want to do what the father want him to do. He want to do what he want to do. He don't want to be in the shadow of the father. He wants to do what he wants to do. Hey, Charlie memes. Y'all got to understand this dynamic. When you say, why doesn't God just get rid of the devil? Why don't you get rid of your sorry kid, the one that can't stay out of jail, the one that can't keep a job, the one that won't pay child support, the one that won't take care of their kids, the one that want to get high or drunk all the time? Why don't you just kill them? Why don't you just desert them? You don't, because you still love that person and you have hope for them. To this day, the devil can go and repent. His problem is he doesn't know how. He don't have feelings. He just knows this, that, this. He really can't sit down and break stuff down. That's why he does the same thing over and over again, because that's what he knows to do. It's the opposite of what he was made to do. He's just doing the opposite. That doesn't mean he's planning it, because if he knows the Bible better than anybody, he knows what's going to happen to him. But he don't change anything. So how smart can he be? It's to the point now, the same way you do with a child that just gone. You say, hey, I'm not going to hurt him, but I'm going to just stay out his way and let him hurt himself. I'm not giving you no more money for your crack Jimmy, but I won't call the cops on you. You'll either wake up, or you'll wake up in jail, or you'll wake up in the grave. But I can't do nothing more for you. If it was that simple, it would be that simple. The problem is, we caught in the middle. If Satan, the devil, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, says, hey, I'm not doing with this, I'm going to do my own thing, that would be great. That's not what he did. What he said was, I know you made them and you wanted them to worship you. You got all these angels up here and they sing your praises and everything, but you made them to do that. Your goal with these human beings was they were going to love you on their own. And I'm telling you, they won't love you on your own. Since you gave them an open mind, the ability to really think, the ability to have free will, to choose what they want to choose, they're not going to choose you. They're going to choose me. I'm going to give them whatever they want. You're trying to make them be holy and upright. I'm going to make them have fun. They're going to love me. They're going to hate you. They'll say they love you, but they always going to come running to my goodies. And so we caught in a battle. We in the middle of a battle going on. The devil challenged God in the Garden of Eden. I can make them prove they don't love you. If you leave them be and let them be on their own, they won't. They won't love you. All the angels and all the beings in heaven heard this. So now, God's hands are kind of tied. Well, okay. We'll do it your way. Okay. Because the fact that it was two trees they couldn't eat, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. Why didn't the devil have them eat the tree of life? If they ate the tree of life, they'd still be here. Nobody would die. Devil didn't want that. He didn't want us around. He wanted us to be gone. He wanted us to eat from the fruit, get the knowledge, and then God would get mad and kill us because we weren't ready for the knowledge. That's what he thought. God didn't do that. God didn't mean that. He misunderstood. Remember what I said about he think he's smart, but he's not? He think he's smart, but he's not. Because God said, if you eat from these trees, you will surely die. And when Eve told him that, he said, you will not die. Here's the question. Whether it was God or whether it was Jesus, it doesn't matter. But if they told them, if you eat from the tree, you'll die, and they repeated it to the devil, when he told them, oh, no, you won't die, why did they believe him? Why did they believe him? You know why? You know why Eve believed him? Because one, Eve didn't like being subservient to Adam. And she thought that if she ate from the tree, there was something that God was hiding. And that something that was hiding was keeping her subservient to Adam. But then after she ate from it, she started getting nervous. Sound like some people you know who do something wrong and then get nervous and then want to bring somebody along with them? Like you got a kid, you say don't eat them cookies, and they go grab a couple and then they think about it and they go, and they go get their little brother or sister and they get them a couple. So then when you see it's 2 or 3 kids to get mad at instead of one, so the punishment is bad. That's what she did when she gave the fruit to Adam. Adam should have slapped her right out of her hand and said, get out my face. You know you're wrong for this. But instead, he bit it. Why? Because he also wondered, what was God hiding? What were they hiding? What was God and Jesus hiding that they didn't want them to know? And this is the error. By giving us our own mind and our own free will, we're not robots here. You got people that's up playing people that's down, but the people that's down got their own agenda and their own ideas. The same way you might have a kid and you're planned out, they're going to go to the best schools. They're going to go to the best college. By the time they get to high school, they want to play football. They don't want to go to college. Unless it's on a football scholarship. They want to play basketball. They want to be a missionary and travel the world and help people. You like, I want you to go to college and be a surgeon and make some money. They don't care about money. So you plan these things out for these kids, but they got their own mind. So the plan that God had for us, the devil swooped in and changed it by using Eve, then Adam. See, he didn't go attack God. He can't win that battle. So instead, he used us. God made us to worship him. But he wanted us to worship him not because we were made to worship him, but because we want to worship him. That's the key that you can't forget. Want. You respect your parents because they took care of you. But when you get old enough to take care of yourself, you can't wait to get away from them. Tell me I'm lying. Especially you women. You can't wait to get away from your daggone mother. Tell the truth. Some of y'all were made to go to certain schools. Some of y'all were made to go to Little League because your father sucked at it and they want to live through you. Some of you young ladies were forced to go do dancing or gymnastics or be in beauty pageants. because your mother couldn't do it and she want to live through you. But you don't want to do that mess. But when you're little, you ain't got much choice. But when you get older, you're like, look, man, I'm not doing this crap no more. I'm sick of being in beauty pageants and wearing all that makeup. I want to do my own thing. And that's the devil's biggest strength to focus on. We want to do our own thing. What excites the human being? Doing what they want to do. That's why the devil tells you things in your ear. See, he don't know what's in your mind, but he can watch what you do and just give you little hints to get you to do or say certain things. Them and the demons, they travel the globe. It says so in Job. God said, hey, where you been? I've been patrolling the earth. What the word patrol mean? Just like a security guard patrolling your complex or the police patrolling your city. They out there patrolling. And they telling you to say the dumbest and do the dumbest stuff. Stuff you wouldn't think of. But if they can find you at the right moment, they'll get you to do it. To them, that's success. Their focus. I call it a challenge. Is to turn us away from God, to separate us from God. I told you the other day, it's like the Frankenstein monster. The Frankenstein monster can break Dr. Frankenstein in two. In his mind, the Frankenstein monster doesn't need Dr. Frankenstein until he needs some more of that electricity or that elixir or whatever it was that Dr. Frankenstein gave him. If he don't need nothing, Dr. Frankenstein's expendable, isn't he? We make God expendable. Most of us only call on him when we're in trouble. As long as everything good, you don't even give him a thought, most of you. The devil knows this. Jesus and God want our number one priority to be them. But our number one priority is yourself. What do I want to do today? If you're in love with somebody, what does that person want? If you got cute little kids and you love them, what do they want? You got a boss that rides you. What does he want? Everybody else want come before you ask God what he wants. Most of you don't even give a thought to what he wants. We were made to worship. He gave Adam and Eve a garden. Had the animals come and lay down before him. All they had to do was just worship. That was it. All they had to do was just worship. For those of y'all who say you don't get what I'm saying, there are a lot of y'all that had a good mate. And they would do anything for you. Still wouldn't cheat on them, didn't you? I see the cat looking out the door. Part of her wants to go see what's on the other side of that door. But if she goes, she can't come back. One day she's going to say, screw it. I'm going out there. She ain't done it yet. But one day, I see her looking off the balcony. Her being able to go out there on the balcony helps. Because she can go out there and see other things. But she's going to see that she got everything she needs right here. But there's still a longing. But that's us humans. But see, she don't go nowhere because she don't know what to do. By her being separated from her mother, she doesn't know what she's supposed to do. But we can think like that. We can go study. We can learn what to do, and then we can go. I keep telling you, that separates us from every other creation. They can only do what they were made to do. We can do whatever our mind and our hands allow us to do. Even though we can't fly, we can't do magic, we can create things that can. We are the strongest of God's creation. Some people would say the sting from a scorpion is deadly. Some people would say an attack in a swamp from a crocodile would be deadly. Some would say a charging elephant or bear would be deadly. Some would say a lion or a tiger or a cougar would be deadly. Two human beings can take down any one of them in seconds without straining a finger. Why? We got brains. So we know this. And yet we still let the devil tell us that we ain't nothing. We let other people tell us that we ain't nothing. A bunch of colonists beat the best military in the world at that time because they came together with one goal. When human beings come together with one goal, they almost unstoppable. Why do you think when they were building the Tower of Babel, that God sent Jesus down there to knock it down and to move everybody around and make them look different and sound different, have different languages? Because after the flood, they was all together one family. And like I said, 3 generations after Noah died, they forgot everything that Noah was telling them. They doing their own thing. And they got together and they said, hey, we going to build the tower to heaven. Because we got together and did it. This is something other beings can't do. We are the most powerful things on earth. Not here. Here. The devil don't want us to worship God. He wants us to worship him. If he can't get us to worship him, at least have us not worship God. And he'll do anything to separate you from God. Now, some will say, well, when's he going to stop? Doesn't know how to. He doesn't know how to. Which brings us back to the question. Why doesn't God just get rid of Satan? Because even without Satan, there will still be jealousy. There will still be envy. There will still be wickedness. Why? Because as long as we listen to our sinful desires, now that we've ate the apple, somebody's always going to try to get over on somebody else. Somebody's always going to try to steal from somebody else. Jesus and God go from Kings through Samuel to the judges. Watch and see how God keeps sending Jesus down to help the Israelites, the people that he singled out to be his own. And they still did what they wanted to do. He would get mad and send the Philistines to come beat him up. Because see, the Israelites, without Jesus helping them, they couldn't do nothing. Don't believe me? Go read Kings. And just keep going up through the judges. They couldn't do nothing. And they would ignore God. They had Jesus down in the cloud with them. They told him, hey, we don't want to hear from you. If you got something, send it through a prophet. We don't want to hear it. We don't like your voice. You're booming. Yes, they told him that. They had Jesus down in the cloud with him. Look, we want to be like everybody else. We want a king. You got me. We don't want you. We want a king like everybody else. Yes, this is how cold and cruel human beings are. Even when we got everything, we still don't see it. We want more. If they told them, don't worship things that you see, why would you worship a tree? Why would you worship a pig that you can capture and kill? Why are you worshiping elephants? Go look at some of the other countries' religions and see the idols that they have. These are things that you can kill. It's one part in the Bible. They actually had priests that would take food, put it in a cell, a prison cell, and lock it. And the next day, everybody come back and they see the food ate up. Well, if our God ain't real, how could the food be ate up? And y'all can look this up. They put flour on the floor. And they did it again, and when they came back, they could see the footprints from the fake priest going in there, eating the food, and then coming back out. These are what human beings are capable of, with a little whisper and help. With a little bit of desire and a little bit of help. Why do you do that? To show people that God they talking about ain't real. Look, our God ate the food up. Come worship this God. Everybody wants your worship. If you're a presidential candidate, you want everybody to vote. You used to go up there, kiss babies, and do whatever you could do to get the vote. As soon as you get in there, you don't do nothing you promised you were going to do. Tell the truth. They get in there and don't do nothing. I thought you were going to fix the parking. Nope. I thought you were going to fix the schools. Well, we said that, but there's no money for it. Well, I put you in here to do that. Well, I'm in here now, so put on you. And put on you until re-election time. Then guess what? Hey, remember me? Want me to do that for you? Vote for me again. Hey, no. You ain't do nothing you said you were going to do. But then they're going to find dirt on every opponent they have. And before you know it, you find yourself voting for that same person again, and you still don't get what you wanted to get done. Isn't it amazing how life works? So, if he does get rid of the devil, how does God know that you're worthy to continue on? See, right now, the devil's being used. Question is, does he know it or not? If he doesn't know it, he's stupid. But he's being used right now. God is using him as a measuring stick for us. That's one of his children. But he can't do nothing for him. He'll get his in the end. The same way you got a child you can't do nothing for. But you got other children. So you try and do what you can do for them. And he did. Adam and Eve made the mistake. Jesus came down here and fixed it. And God gave us a way out. Problem is, will we take it? Because see, we have to want to do it. See, a lot of people go to church because they feel they have to. A lot of people worship because they feel they have to. If you in Russia, you say anything bad about the people in charge, they'll jail you or kill you. Same thing in Saudi Arabia and places like that. Same thing in North Korea. In Cuba, you probably say something about Fidel Castro, they'll probably string you up alive. These people in public must show. And this is how you know when you're dealing with somebody that's fake. When they're in public and people around, they must show. When you see them not in the public, that's when you watch them. But in public, hey, praise the Lord, hallelujah, whoo. But when you see them in person, oh yeah, that's when you find out. Hey, you ain't supposed to be doing that. Hey. How does God know who to bring and who to leave behind? Who to bring and who to throw in the furnace? So yes, the devil's running around. Him and his demons, whispering in your ears, setting things up for you. Because he got the power to kill you. I was thinking about that phrase from Job. I've been saying, you can do everything but kill you. Threw me off the bike 3 weeks ago. He can kill you. But only the body can't kill a spirit. Know the difference. He can't kill your spirit, but you can give it to him. What do you mean give it to him? Give it to him. Give him what he wants. He wants you separate from Jesus and God. That's what he wants. He can't beat him, but he can keep you separate. To him, it's a victory. Every one of us, he takes into that lake of fire. To him, it's a victory. He thinks he's hurting God. He's hurting his daddy. The same way, if father and son open a business, they get into an argument. The son going to try and take as many employees, especially the good ones, as he can and leave and start the same business under his name and try to take his father out of business by using everything that he was taught by the father against him. This is what we're dealing with right now. We were created to worship God, but on our own. The devil don't want us to worship God. He wants us to worship him. But there's a different kind of worship. When we sin, it's what God hates. The devil wants us to sin. Therefore, sin leads to death. So, by killing us, he tried to do it the fast way with Adam and Eve. That didn't work. They lived to be 900 something years old. You imagine if you set somebody up to die and you had to wait 950 years for them to kick the bucket? And that money. $950 years. Something else he didn't count on. We can do something that him and the angels can't do. We can multiply. So imagine, you thought that by getting them to eat from the tree that God will kill them and that'd be the end of it. But not only do they live 900 and something years, they keep popping out more and more of them. They just keep popping them out. You can't do that. With all your hocus pocus, you can't do that. They can keep recreating themselves. You trying to get rid of them. Well, I can't get rid of them, but I can keep them away from God. I can keep them from getting that salvation. And then marinate for a second. I know I'm going down, but I'm taking them with me. I'm going to hurt my father because he made them to worship him. He has plenty of creatures to worship him, but they worship him because they were made to worship him. He made these people, these things here, to want to worship him on their own. I can hurt him by making sure that they don't worship him and that I keep them separate. How do I keep them separate? By getting them to do things, lying and deceiving, getting them to do hurtful things, getting them to do things that God finds disgusting. I'm going to take what he wanted for himself and make it so he can't use it. This is what we're dealing with. When you wonder how worse can it get, it's going to get a lot worse because more people are listening. They don't believe in God. They think that it's fake. They think it's fake. Some people don't believe it's the devil. Fact of the matter is, the devil is not just one being. A third of the angels had the same agenda. But then 2/3 of this planet, humans, have the same agenda. Let that marinate for a second. 2/3 of human beings on this earth right now are separated from God. When you separated from God, you defenseless against the devil. You only good as your will. You only as good as your will. Your personal will. If there were a lot of alcoholics in your family, you know not to touch alcohol. Some people are predisposed to drinking. Some people can drink and never get drunk. Some people are just through heredity. Just as soon as they get some liquor in them, it's all she wrote. But you can tell yourself, I'm not going to have a drink today. I'm not going to have a drug today. You'll turn around, everybody you know is bringing you drinks or bringing you drugs. You'll turn around, there's someone on the street right there for you to find. You turn around, it's some in front of your door, on your doorstep. What? And see, the one thing about the devil and his demons, they timeless beings. They patient. We not patient. We want it now. Now. They'll wait. They'll offer you something and you don't bite. That's okay. He didn't bite today. They'll come back the next week. Hey. They'll come back again. They'll keep coming. Coming. You know, I cleaned the stove off today. I was pouring some soda in the bottle. I was being real careful. Somehow, the soda bottle jumped out my hand and jumped in. The soda was all over the stove. I just cleaned it. I had to clean it again. I said, damn. Then I came back and I fried some chicken. And I had the patio door wide open. I had the air on. I had the burner on low. Used fresh grease. You know, as soon as I went and sat down, I just checked the chicken. Everything was fine. I went and sat down. As soon as I sat down and laid down, beep. Smoke detector went off. I said, what? I did everything I'm supposed to do. But you wait till I go sit down, and then you go off. Had been in the kitchen for 15 minutes straight. Nothing. Went and sat down. Laid down. Smoke detector went right. I had to jump right back up. I said, God darn. Turned the burner off, right? You know the grease got hotter after I turned the burner off. I mean, it was literally, this was fresh grease. It was literally trying to jump out the pan. The burner was off. I'm like, this is impossible. This will never happen on no Hell's Kitchen. Don't happen on Master Chef. Why is it happening to me? I had to clean the stove again. I said, what got done? I bet you I ain't even touched the stove. I bet you if I walk over there, I bet you something magically is on that stove. You know why? Because the devil knows that I want that stove to stay white. But see, if he can keep me busy by keep having to clean it, then maybe I ain't got time to pray. Maybe I ain't got time to worship. Just keep me busy. Maybe if I chase baby cat fur balls all day, Maybe I ain't got time to pray. Maybe if he keep messing with the Comcast, Xfinity, it seems like the same time every day. It just stopped working. I called in my head, we were live. They said nothing was wrong with it, but it happens every day. I'm saying to myself, wow, maybe I should just go back to using the phone. But then the phone won't start messing up. So try to break your spirit, break your will with little things. Just small things, just to break your will. He's patient. So you say, hey, I'm not going to do the drug today. But guess what? Somebody going to come knock on your door. Hey, I got some drugs. You want to get a hit? Now, I don't do that no more. Come on, man. You know you want it. He didn't fall for that. All right, we'll try something different. Let's send somebody attractive and get them to get into that person, and then let that person pull out some drugs on them. Maybe we can get them in. Because what y'all got to understand, Jesus used it in a parable. He says that whenever somebody cleanses themselves spiritually and comes back to God and put that demon out of them, when that demon come back, he find out he can't get in, he come back with 7 more. And they try and get you, if they don't, they come back with 7 more until they break you back down. So how you gonna fight? How can you fight? Without Jesus and God, you can't. They'll keep ganging up on you. You can't. Your will is gonna crack. Whether it be family, friends, things happening, all that is to break down your will unresolved. And see, a lot of people think, just because I'm going to church, I'm making the devil mad. No, you ain't. You ain't going to a good church. You making him happy. Because God ain't there. Jesus ain't there. People might be there, but they ain't. You don't mind you going. He'll help you along. Make sure you're there on time. Know your enemy so you can fight him. Know him. Respect him so you can win. If you don't respect your enemy, he's going to beat you. I don't underestimate nothing. I don't. See, this is where you find out people are real or not. If somebody threatens me, whether I think I can take them or not, I take it seriously. And I start getting ready. That's why I made fun of the troll last week. Came in here attacking me and didn't know nothing about me. When somebody comes for my throat, I take it seriously. The devil comes for your throat daily. Him and his demons. Daily. And you play it off like it's nothing. The goal is to keep you separate. There are people that go around carrying a Bible with them and not connected. The devil loves that. You think you're doing something, you ain't doing nothing but making him happy. Every time somebody disconnects, you make the devil happy. And he can't read your mind, but he can read your actions. The way you carry yourself is your spirit activated. He can see that. You and I can see that in each other. Until you come to Jesus and God and say, look, well, you got to start with Jesus. I appreciate you taking my place on the cross. I appreciate you atoning for what Adam did. I want you to come in and make me what God intended for me to be. Not what I want to be. Not what my neighbor wants me to be. Not what my mother wants me to be. But what God intended me to be. Until you do that, you cannot walk with Jesus and God. And if you say you are, you're a darn lie. If you're not doing that, we don't need a whole bunch of hallelujahs. We don't need no choir. We don't need no prayer dancers. If you're not doing that, you ain't walking. And if you ain't walking, you're disappointing God and you're making the devil happy. That's all it is. Yeah, what you don't understand is God loves you. But just like your parents, did you disappoint your parents or do you make your parents happy? Either way, they still love you. Do you disappoint them or do you make them happy? Do you disappoint Jesus and God or do you make them happy? Only you can answer that question. I can't read your minds. Only you can answer that question. Do you think that you're trying to do what they want you to do? Do you ask them what they want you to do? Or do you do what you think they want you to do? Do you think what somebody else told you? It's not brain surgery. It's not brain surgery at all. So don't say, why doesn't God get rid of the devil? Because the devil gives us the way out. If there was no devil and demons running around, it would be harder on us. Because then Jesus would have to go around like they do and try to find out who is worthy and not worthy. This way, we can come to Jesus. Remember, come to, not be made, not be forced. But we want to come. Notice that word. We want to come. That's why we were created. To want. Not be made to, not be forced to, but want to. It's a lot easier to work with somebody that want to work with you. It's kind of hard to make somebody who don't want to work with you work with you. Read your Old Testament. See how many times that God and Jesus tried to work. It don't work for human beings. You literally had the 7 plagues go on in Egypt. People were still complaining. This daggone Moses gonna get us killed. Moses parted the Red Sea and they walked through it. And then he closed it and drowned all the soldiers. You go to the next chapter, the people complaining already. You can't make somebody do something. You can't. Go look at all the things that Elisha and Elijah did miracles in front of the people. Go to the next chapter and see them doing the same thing they were doing before. That's just human nature. You gotta want it. If you don't want it, it ain't gonna happen. They're not gonna chase you down. Jesus and God is not gonna chase you. They're not gonna chase you. They might send people to come talk to you, but they won't chase you down. They like, look, we gave you away. Come to us and get it, or do what you want to do. And that's the one thing that people don't want to deal with. They said, look, we tired. It's in the book. Go look at all the stuff that they did. People still did what they wanted to do. Still did what they wanted to do. Still did what they wanted to do. I told y'all what I thought. Let's see what other people thought. I bookmarked 2 things real quick. Let's see. Let me go ahead. How you work this thing here? We ain't been on our StreamYards in a minute. You gotta go to window. All right, here's the first one. I just typed it in. Why doesn't God get rid of the devil? Hey, here we go. Why God allows evil? Can he kill Satan? That's what popped up. Delete the devil and the human, maybe you, becomes the worst person in the world. Ooh. I think I kind of said that, but let's see what they got to say. Okay. Why does God allow evil and suffering? Why would a good God permit pain? These most asked questions are top reasons people leave religion. In bad situations, we find a way to blame God, but we take credit when life is great. The reverse is typically the reality. Here are 7 answers to the most frequently searched questions of spirituality and religion. All right, let's see what they got to say. Number 1, choice. Everything God creates is good, so why allow evil? God gave us the power to choose the right decision or its opposite. Who, in his new book on Mortal Kombat, Forward the White Longnecker, explains, oh man, this is a video here, I ain't getting flagged. Love must be chosen, and choice requires God's great gamble. Love must be chosen, and choice requires God's great gamble. He must have love because he is love, but love must be chosen. And for it to be chosen, there must be an option not to love. Therefore, God gave his children the power to choose. This is very similar to what I said. Before the universe, God created angels who were all created good. Lucifer is the fallen angel who became Satan, waiting as the serpent to tempt Eve and Adam. Satan and his demonic followers all choose the battle God and his plans. Okay, this backs up what I said. Satan can't create anything. I say that all the time. Satan can't create anything. I say that all the time. He can't create nothing, but he sure loves to steal your stuff and give it to his people. He loves to break your stuff and make you have to buy it again, put you in financial situations. But he can't create nothing. But his lies twist good into bad. Life without choices will be like bowling without the possibility of gutter balls. Something we allow for kids, but grown-ups bowl the old-fashioned way. A nice place to visit, the best episode of The Twilight Zone. Imagine hell as a place where you get everything you want. The choice and possibility of success or failure is a central part of the glory of life. But let's go back here a second, though. Satan and his demonic followers all choose to battle God and his plans. What plans? The plans that God had for us. Remember, I told you. Satan was supposed to come down and train Adam and Eve. He saw them as inferior and said, you know what? I can get these people to worship me. All I got to do is get them to get that knowledge of right and wrong. Let them get their free will without the training. See, we didn't get the training. Devil didn't get it either. I think he's supposed to train us and learn in the process. But instead, he decided, hey, I'm not going to go down here and deal with these things. I'm going to make God kill him. And then when he didn't kill him, okay, well, I got to make sure that they don't walk with him. Because if they walk with him, they can still earn eternal life. At least now they die. And if I can get them to kill each other, maybe they can kill each other quicker. We kept multiplying. We lived to be almost 1,000 years and produced 300-400 children. Well, I can't kill them like I wanted to, but at least I can keep them separate and keep them away from God's plan. God wanted us to be in the paradise, not have a care in the world. All we had to do was just love each other and love him. That's all he wanted. Well, I can take that away. And that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. And he does it with lies and deceit. And when that don't work, he cheat. 2, we each get a guardian angel and a demon. Really? The early church fathers taught that every human is assigned a guardian angel to watch over their souls. The devil, who's always challenging God's vulnerable children, us, responds by assigning each person a demon. Remember I told you about when you clean yourself up and you boot that demon out of you, he come back with 7 more to put you back where you was. That don't work. He come back with 7 more. Did I tell you that? Well, let's find out. It looks like I might have been right. Let's find out. So numerous films and TV shows from Animal House to Pinocchio to The Simpsons were theologically sound when they showed a demon and an angel on each shoulder offering advice. Conscience is a key yet seldom discussed in American education. Every decision is a choice between following the way, God's will, and going in our own way. What? Following the way, God's will for us, or going our own way. Christianity is often subtle and hidden. In Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket, the same initials as Jesus Christ, is Pinocchio's conscience. In the book version, Pinocchio murdered Jiminy with a hammer, but Jiminy's spirit returned to challenge him. The way or your way, a lifelong test. In the dialogue, St. Catherine of Siena hears God say, time is as the point of a needle and no more. And when the time is past, labor is ended. Therefore, you see that the labor is small. They endure with patience, and the thorns they pass through do not touch their heart, because their heart is drawn out of them and united to me by the affection of love. Let me read that again to y'all. Some of y'all didn't get that. Time is as the point of a needle and no more. And when the time is past, labor is ended. Therefore, you see that the labor is small. They endure with patience, and the thorns they pass through do not touch their heart, because their heart is drawn out of them and united to me by the affection of love. Let's break this down. And I know some of y'all are scratching your heads. This is really simple. Time is the point of a needle and no more. When the time is past, labor is ended. Therefore, you see that the labor is small. When a woman is having a baby and she's having on labor pains, and she's like, get this thing out of me. And she's screaming and trying to choke her husband, and you did this to me. Ah. When that baby put in her arms, she forget about all that. God is saying that if you stay linked to me, all the suffering that you might have to go through on this earth, it won't affect you. You're going to come be with me and live happily ever after. So you will suffer these 60, 70, 80, however many years you live. Some of y'all live to be 110. You're going to suffer. But when Jesus comes for you in the rapture, you're going to forget all that suffering. It's going to be like a woman that had a baby and you put the baby in her arms. She forget about all that pain she went through. Still bleeding from between her legs, but she's going to forget it. She got that baby in her arms. She's so happy. That's what it's going to be like if you stick with God. All that stuff that happened to you during your life is going to fade away like it never happened. You're going to forget it, but you got to endure. You got to stay connected. Don't get distracted by the things of this world. Don't get distracted by cars and money and people and sex and gambling and drugging and drinking and cheating and lying and stealing. All these things that you know God hates. It might seem like you're missing out, but you're not. You might be missing out on that mess, but the majority of that stuff leads to more pain. But instead of focusing on what you're missing out on, focus on what you're going to gain. A life with no pain, no illness, no sickness, no cramps, no wheelchairs, no dandruff, no colds. Every day you drink from that lake of life, you are reborn and refreshed and re-energized. Everybody will be the same. The same strength, the same everything. We all gonna be perfect. The stuff that we pick on each other now that are different, it's not gonna be that way in the new world. It's not gonna be that way. But you got to endure and sacrifice now so you can get that later. Instead of trying to have your fun now and going into the lake of fire later. Well, you know, I'm going to have my fun now. Well, go ahead and have your fun. But don't come cry to me when they throw you in baby hell. Don't come crying to me. Don't walk to the chasm, look up and say, hey, bro, Darren, look at you up there. I want to be with you. Like, I gave you a chance. I told you what you need to do. You didn't want to do it. Oh, put on you. I can't help you. It's all over for you. It's all downhill. There ain't nothing to look forward to. You're going to look forward to being thrown in a lake of fire. Rerouting. Why doesn't all-powerful God get rid of Satan? Like our parents did before we were born, God starts with a plan for every one of us, knowing we will quickly go our own way. We and the devil are creatures created by God for specific purposes. Satan fell, we sin. What? Like our parents did before we were born, God starts out with a plan for every one of us, knowing we will quickly go our own way. I said that. Y'all got it? We and the devil are creatures created by God for specific purposes. Satan fell, but we sin. Just imagine this. God is his father. God is our father. Satan fell. But when he fell, he introduced us to sin. A dear family friend used to say he had a child go to Yale and one who went to jail. One saddened his heart more, but they were both his babies, so he loved them dearly. Trust comes and goes, but love remains. Our Heavenly Father loves us too. He's love and truth itself. He takes everything, good and bad, and everything else, and works with it. Father John Baptiste, whoever, and St. Claude, whoever, explain in truthful surrender to divine providence. We'll skip that, who cares? See what they got to say. Even though we suppose that our disturbed state is the work of the devil, it must still be attributed to God. Does not the history of Job show that Satan has no power over us unless God gives it to him? How many more have been led to the practice of the highest virtue by interior trials? So even if we say that the situation that we in is the work of the devil, it must still be attributed to God. God knows what the devil is doing. That's why I get angry at him sometimes. You know this, man. You know this chump doing this, and yet you still allow him to do it. Satan can't do nothing to you unless God allows it. Some of you will get mad and say, well, why does he allow it? Because he's giving you the tools to fight back. But did you fight back? He's giving you the tools to fight back. The tool is Jesus Christ. But did you go to Jesus Christ? Or did you try and do it on your own? If you do it on your own, you're going to fail. Without Jesus Christ, you're only good as your will. I keep telling you, you're only good as your will. And when you're trying to do your will, the devil knows it. He knows I'm going to break that will. And I ain't in no rush. I keep coming back. That's why if you want a diet, you keep saying, I'm not going to eat nothing else. Every couple of hours, you get the hunger pains. And you have to keep fighting it. You want a little drinky drink? I'm not touching no more liquor. After a while, you get the pains. If you ride it out, it'll go away. If you lean on Jesus and let him come in and fight for you, the devil will leave. But we don't. We think we can do it on our own. And sooner or later, you will get broken. And you wind up doing what you said you wasn't going to do. You wind up doing what you said you wasn't going to do. Let's keep it real. You wind up doing what you wasn't going to do. You're only good as your will. With Jesus Christ, you can break that cycle. Think of your iPhone giving you the shortest, fastest route somewhere. But You do other things, listen to other voices, get distracted, maybe even by a demon, and the phone flashes, rerouting. Immediately, the iPhone adapts to your moves and charts a new path based on where you are now. God does the same with us. He offers us the surest, straightest way, but He adds love to our suffering to create something more significant, divine mercy. So God offers us the surest, straightest way through Jesus. But if people don't have problems, they're not going to seek Jesus. This is the biggest problem. This is why, unfortunately, we need a devil. Because if he don't cause problems, we don't know we have problems. Now, then marinate for a second. If everything was hunky-dory all the time, why would you lean on Jesus? What do you need him for? If you're a country that's never at war, why do you need an army? Why do you put money into it? You don't fight nobody. You just go along and get along, like Switzerland. You know, whatever you want to do is fine with me. You don't know you got a problem until you get one. If life's too easy, you don't need nobody. What I need Jesus for? What I need God for? Hey, I got everything I need. I don't need nothing else. I'm good. Some people need a little trouble in their life to wake them up. Some people need a kick in the butt. God wills and allows. Think of the judge saying, I'll allow it. God has a plan, his will, but he also will allow things he didn't plan. Picture a courtroom where you're making your case and seem to go off on a tangent. Your prosecutor, like your demon, shouts, I object, trying to make you lose. But the judge hearing both sides says, no, I'll allow it, I'll allow it. Your advantage, God, the just judge, is also your forgiving father, and he loves you dearly. Mary, the mother of God, most hated by Satan, and the Holy Spirit are both called the advocate because they will advocate your case. The odds are always in your favor as long as you recognize your inheritance as a child of God. Obey means to listen intently. Americans bristle at the word obey. We cherish freedom, repelled at the mere thought of obeying anyone else. But the original meaning of obeying is to listen intently. To obey God means to listen intently. In the garden, God asked Adam and Eve to do one thing: stay away from the fruit of one tree. One tree. They didn't listen intently to God, but they did listen intently to Satan. I said that. I said that. How is it that Eve told Satan, God says we will surely die? She told him that. And he told her, oh, you won't die. And she went, oh, okay. The father of deceit, the father of lies is Satan the devil. I told y'all this, and it's right here. So even though she repeated what God said, it took a few words from Satan to erase it. You know why? Because remember we learned last week about temptation? When you leave the door open. Her door was open. And I told you why her door was open. She didn't like being subservient to Adam. And she thought that if she got the knowledge from that tree, that she would learn something that would make her bigger than Adam and will make her bigger than God, make her equal to God. And that's why she listened to what Satan had to say. Because deep down, she wanted that. And then when she did it, she got scared. And she went and she got Adam to eat it. Because she didn't want to be by herself dealing with God's anger. She wanted somebody to share so he could divide it. And remember, Satan wants to divide you from God. And as many people as he can get to come along with you, he's going to get, as long as you divide it from God. Eve thought she was smart and thought she was in control, but then she got scared. And she brought Adam in and suckered him in. How many children run away from home? They say it's so bad at home, but then they get out there on the street. And when the people see them on the street, they offer them food. Then they offer them drugs. Then they try to make them be prostitutes. Instead of them going home and saying, Mom and Dad, I shouldn't have ran away. I'm sorry. I'll do what you want me to do. They out there being used like dogs. They don't want to go home and say I was wrong. They rather keep being out there. This is what Satan does to people. This is what he does. They make you think that you can't come back. You've done too much wrong. Some of you right now, you got children that are out there that don't think they can come back. You try to put it out your mind. You wish they would come back. But you don't go get them. And they don't have the courage to come home. Satan likes that separation. He wants you separate from God. It's that simple. They didn't listen to God, but they did listen intently to Satan. Your child won't listen to you and your rules, but he'll go out there on the street and listen to whatever somebody on the street tell him what to do. Can I say that again? Your runaway child won't follow your rules and listen to you, but they'll go out there on the street and do whatever the people that they don't even know tell them to do. Drugs, prostitution, stripping, drug dealing, whatever. Rather than coming home and doing what you told them to do. How many people won't do what Jesus and God want them to do, but they can't wait to do what their neighbor, what their friend, what their boss, what their girlfriend or boyfriend, what the guy on the corner tells them to do. They can't wait to do that, but they won't come back and say, hey, I'm wrong. Take me back. Give me another chance. But they'll go out there and do all that mess. Go to jail, get locked up, get stabbed, get shot, get raped. They'll go do all that rather than just say, hey, I'm coming home. I'm sorry. Take me back. I'll do what you wanted me to do. It is also why Satan is called the tempter, the divider, and the liar. I said the divider. He got our first parents to distrust the Father, and we've distrusted father figures and authority ever since. It took a son, Jesus, to bridge the divide. Satan is called the tempter, the divider, and the liar. He got our first parents to distrust the Father, Adam and Eve, and we've distrusted father figures and authority ever since. It took a son, Jesus, to bridge the divide. You know, when I watch the Scam Baking Show, I like to watch them because I find it funny. I noticed that, and I don't know how they scam anybody, I really don't. They keep telling you what you have to do. This is how you know they're not American. You don't tell an American what they got to do unless you're a judge. If you're not a judge or a politician, a police officer, you don't tell people what they got to do. That's the fastest way to get your butt kicked. You don't tell an American they got to do something. They tell you, I got to pay taxes and die. I ain't got to do nothing else. You ain't know what I got to do. That's fighting words. But that's the first thing they tell you. You have to do. This is what you need to do. Don't tell me what I got. I ain't got to do nothing. There's a saying when I grew up. I ain't got to do nothing but stay black and die. So I'd be surprised if people get scammed. Because when they say that, I'm already ready to fight. You don't know what I got to do. I ain't got to do nothing. But yet, we let people tell us what to do. We let people lie and tell us what they think we want to hear. And we let them tell us what to do. And we know it's wrong. The devil voices in the back of your head saying, hey, you know you about to mess up. Why are you going to do this? You know it's wrong. And you still do it anyway. Even though you know it's wrong, you still do it. There's an answer for that. Come to Jesus Christ. The true meaning of sin and repenting. Sin is an archery term meaning to miss the target. The main goal our Creator hoped we could hit. That original sin was like cutting off the lines. That original sin was like cutting off the lines of communication between our Father and us. Isn't it amazing how we keep coming back to this? Divide and conquer. If you want to break down the people, you divide them. How do you do that? Well, you start with culture. I've been telling y'all for years, and y'all dismiss it. I've been telling you for years that United States, the melting pot, got too many cultures. And y'all laugh when I say this. But go to any state, go to any city. You're gonna see the Jews are over here. The Italians are here. The Koreans are here. The Chinese are here. The black people are here. The white people are there. There's always a split, a dividing line. You know, when you cross this line, you in Chinatown. You know, when you cross this line, this is where the Israelis hang out. You know, when you cross this line, that's where the Mexicans is. You know, when you cross this line, that's where the blacks is. You better hold on to your purse, ladies. You know, when you cross, you know this. Why do we still have division? You can't serve two masters. You either serve God or the devil. If you come from a different country and you get citizenship here, leave everything that was in that country there. What are you bringing it here for? Why are you trying to start another country inside another country? That's division. You are divided. I don't want none of my kids to marry none of those kids. Then why you bring them around? Well, because we come in here to enjoy the fruits and make the money. You can't put your toe in and take it back out. I want to come over here and get the money, but I don't want to do nothing else. I want my children to come here and go to the great schools, but I don't want them to have to deal with nobody over here. We keep wanting to be separate. If you can't do that in your life, how are you going to do that with God, Jesus, and the devil? You can go in almost any home and you can see knickknacks from other countries. You got people that come over here from Nigeria, other places in Africa. They look at a black person over here and talk to them like they're daggone Doug. And you looking at them like, man, you don't even have streets where you live. You have to walk through mud to get to your damn hut. How you going to talk about me? Oh, but you lazy American. Yeah, but I got air conditioning and plumbing. You don't over there. Hey, shut up. Division. Instead of saying, hey, you don't see how good you got it in America. Let me show you how to take advantage of it. And you can say to them, hey, let me show you, y'all need some plumbing over there. Y'all need some streets. Instead of trying to walk through all that mud, let me show you how to find out where that water coming from that's making it muddy and redirect it so at least y'all can have something solid to walk on. You understand what I'm saying? But no, we stay divided. We stay divided. Why do we have the terrorists? The terrorists don't like the way we are. They think that we too loose. Our women are too loose. If you were to tell somebody in Saudi Arabia, tell somebody in Turkey that their daughter was backstage at a concert with a band somewhere on her knees, they will blow the whole stadium up. They want our money. They want our technology. But they don't want the other stuff. They want to get the good stuff and then take the toe out. You got a lot of people say they're Christians, but they want to put that toe into the evil and then think that they can bring that toe back out without picking up nothing. It don't work that way. You either all in or you're all out. You can't dabble and run. If you lay down with doves, chances are you're going to get up with fleas. You can't lay down there and expect not to get nothing. But we keep thinking, hey, I can get away with it. Hey, I can do this. Hey, nobody else can do this but me. And all you're doing is separating yourself from God and Jesus. And you're just making the devil happy. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. The first cut of sin was like an arrow missing a target, cutting off our communication lines, the vein connecting head and heart, or the direct line between child and father. Jesus, the healer, restores the connection, healing the wound. Let's try this again. The first cut of sin was like an arrow missing a target, cutting off our communications line, the vein connecting head and heart, or the direct line between child and father. Jesus, the healer, restores the connection, healing the wound. To repent means to turn from one way, the wrong way, to the right way with understanding. Literally to choose the right way over the wrong way. But we are distracted. Let's try this again. Let me say this again. To repent means to turn from one way, the wrong way, to the right way with understanding. Can I say it again? With understanding. Can I say it again? With understanding. See, a lot of times people think that if I say, I ain't going to do it no more, or I'm sorry, but then they go back and do the same thing again. They haven't repented. You have to understand that it means I'm not going to do it again. If you don't understand that, your sorry doesn't mean nothing. If you don't understand that, getting flowers and bringing them home to your wife you cheated on for the 50th time, it don't mean nothing. Unless you understand how you hurting somebody else. And you say, I'm not going to do it anymore, and I mean it. I'm not only going to say it with my mouth, I'm going to say it with my actions. If you're not doing that, you're not sorry, you haven't repented. Well, I know I stole your rent money and you got evicted, and I'm sorry about what happened. But then you go steal it again and they get evicted again. You're sorry didn't mean nothing. They also said, but we get distracted. We are distracted. Why are we distracted? Because we're being told, as long as you say you're sorry, the other person should forgive you and allow you back in their graces so you can hurt them again. And then you'll come back and say, hey, I'm sorry. And then a month later, you'll come back and do it again. Hey, I'm sorry. If you get distracted, you're going to come back and do it again. Whatever is making you do that, the minute you get distracted, you're going to do it again. Or your will's broken. That's another way for saying will broken. You get distracted enough, you get broken down enough that you go ahead and do it again, even though you know it's wrong. And you say, well, I'm sorry. Satan simultaneously keeps telling us to cut that connection, continually repeating the single isolating message. Trust no one. You know better, Satan says. Trust no one. You know better, Satan says. Don't trust the father, the son, or those church people. Satan says, go on your own way. Satan says, if God suggests something, go the other way, farther away from God and the way. Yes, we are free, but generally we follow a path influenced by others, becoming slaves to our habits, our ideology, our ego, and pride. St. Paul in Romans 6 explains that if we aren't following God's way, we become slaves to sin, following the wrong way. Don't you love how I say something and then we just it gets backed up? I just love it. That's why I love doing this. We follow a path influenced by others. We become slaves to our habits, our ideology, our ego, and pride. Same thing what I said about we listen to boss, neighbor, friends, care more about what they think. The same way I said about ego and pride and ideology, how we still keep trying to hang on to something that we should let go. If I'm from Cuba and I leave Cuba and I move to Turkey, I shouldn't be trying to make Turkey Cuba. I might could try to bring in some things, maybe some food, maybe some ideas, but I'm not going to sit here and say, well, hey, I have a Turkey flag and I got a flag for my country in front of my house. What does somebody think when they walk by? Do they think that you with the country or you against the country? It's going to make people not knock on your door. They want to stay away from you. Because you're saying, hey, I'm here, but I'm different. Or I'm here and I'm better. I'm better because I got two cultures and you only got one. And I don't want my children to associate with your children because your children only know one way and mine know two. That's division. And at some point, it leads to violence. Because what happens when my child with one culture falls in love with your child with two cultures and they want to get married? You're going to want to kill my son because he wants to marry your daughter, or vice versa. Division. With no Satan, who will become the world's worst person? Our friend, Professor Paul Kinger, in The Devil and Karl Marx, offers a massively detailed explanation of how the founders and guiding forces of communism knew they were fighting the way of God in the church. Kingo documents how these anti-church movements repeatedly turned to the enemy of their enemy, Satan himself. Father Gabriel Amorth similarly reported Soviet ruler Joseph Stalin was perfectly possessed, explaining demons are very legalistic, attracted to evil people who live in mortal sin. Culture means the cult of what you worship. Many tried to delete God from their culture, Many have tried to delete God from their culture since the French Revolution of 1789 and the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution. Two things are required. Without God in your life, someone else moves to the top of your priority list, becoming the new God or idol you hold sacred above all others. For some, that's you. Didn't I say this earlier? Someone else moves to the top of your priority list. Remember I said it might be your mate, might be your child, might be your parents, might be your boss, might be you, yourself. Becoming the new God or idol you hold sacred above all others. What are you worshiping right now? You worshiping God or you worshiping someone else or something else? What are you worshiping right now? Who's the God in your life? That includes the four false idols of money, honor, power, and pleasure. Kingo details how all the founders of communism and similar atheistic movements studied and quoted Satan, the enemy of God, their enemy. Without a belief in the devil or demon, someone else becomes the worst person in the world. Many follow their political hero like a new messiah and speak of their political enemy as if their rival is Satan. Both believers and non-believers place someone at the top of their priority list and an enemy at the very bottom of their list. Sometimes they can't stand. Christians are taught to pray for their enemies. Both believers and non-believers place someone at the top of their priority list and an enemy at the very bottom of their list, someone they can't stand. But Christians are supposed to pray for their enemies. If you're supposed to pray for their enemies, how can you put somebody at the bottom of your list? You shouldn't have the bottom of the list. You should be praying for everybody. The cleverest ruse of the devil is to persuade you that he does not exist. A quote by Charles Baudelaire. Just 55% of Christian evangelicals believe in the devil, and the numbers are far lower for other faiths. An overwhelming 83% of American Catholics and research done for the Center for Applied Research in the Apostolate said they thought Satan was merely a symbol of evil, with just 17% believing the devil is a living being. In contrast, recent Gallup polls of the general public find 89% believe in God, 72% believe in angels, just 61% believe in the devil, who is himself a fallen angel, 72% of Americans, 85% of U.S. Catholics believe in heaven, only 58% believe in hell. The vast number who don't believe in Satan regularly condemns evil people, their enemies, without feeling evil people may be redeemable good people. We are judging our brothers and sisters, children of God, equating them with devils when we cannot know what's truly in their hearts. We can judge their action, but not their hearts. If you don't believe in Satan, you make a human your worst enemy. If you do believe in and fight the devil, it's easier to hate the sin and love the sinner. Father Joe Ricardo explains it this way. He adored his late mother, believing her to be a saint, but hated the cancer cells infecting her body. We should love all sinners and hate the sin within the same way. That means even the sorriest person in the world, the most evilest, the most cruelest person in the world, they can be turned around. They can be redeemed if given the right circumstances. But if we don't give them a chance, how will we know? How will we know? Let's say you got a serial killer. They killed 20 people. He on death row. You just leave him there until his appeals exhaust and then you kill him? Or do you take the time to try to understand and send psychologists and try to figure out what makes him want to kill 20 people so that we can maybe stop the next serial killer? Or do you just throw him on death row and just leave him there until it's time to execute him? Even if you can help that one person, maybe you can find out what causes them to do it. Maybe we can stop the next one. But if you throw them all under the bus and lock them up, and we don't know. And we wait for the next one. Author Jesse Romero warns of a rise in followers of the occult. We feel this emptiness. We're drawn to the mystical. We know there's something else beyond this world. And so a lot of Catholics are attracted, especially in the Hispanic community, to these botanicas, especially power. If you do this, you can get. If you do this, you can get something. The need for answers can send us down crooked paths. We should not think of the devil as a myth. Pope Francis warned in 2018's Gaudet et Saltate. This mistake will lead us to let down our guard, to grow careless and end up more vulnerable. The devil does not need to possess us. He poisons us with the venom of hatred, desolation, envy, and vice. Right? The devil does not need to possess us. He poisons us with the venom of hatred, desolation, envy, and vice. Hatred. Desolation. Envy. Vice. We've all felt that at certain points in our life. If the devil notices you, he'll fuel it. And before you know it, not only have you broken your connection with God, but you sealed your fate. A single stick can easily snap, Bishop Robert Byrne notes, but when you bundle a small pile of sticks together, it's much harder to break 7 or 8 sticks bound together. The same is true with us and our families. The devil can more easily influence one than a whole family. My love permits these temptations, for the devil is weak. He can do nothing by himself unless I allow him. I say that all the time. I say it all the time. He can't do nothing unless you allow him. You have to leave the door open for the devil or any one of his demons that come in. You have to leave. They can tempt you all they want. They can whisper in your ear all they want. But until you receive the information and direct it into a negative energy, they can't do nothing but keep suggesting stuff to you. They can make you lose your job. But if you keep looking for another one, you'll find another one. They can make your spouse leave you. But you can find another one. They can make your car keep breaking down. Or you can get another car. But if you fall into listening to what they say, they can have something that's simple. Break your connection with God. I don't see the reason why I even worry with this daggone religion stuff. Everything keep going around. Jesus and God ain't doing nothing. Everybody around me seems to be doing well, and I just don't see it. But when you look at the people supposed to be doing well, you find out they worse off than you is. I can tell you, I'd be so amazed that I keep hearing people talk about how bad they got it. But then you go around where they live and they living it up. Like, what the hell are you complaining about? Ain't nothing worse than somebody rich saying, I'm bored. Well, why you bored? How you bored? You're rich. Yeah, but it ain't nothing for me to do. All I do is just sit around here all day with everybody waiting on me. Then why don't you go out to the soup kitchens? Why don't you go out to your community? Why don't you take some of that money and help people that's in need? How could you be bored? And that mind, I'm bored. God don't love me. Ain't nobody gonna see me, Because you're desolate. We saw that earlier. What did desolate mean? Because you have so much and you're afraid somebody gonna take it from you. You buy this big house and put these big gates up and put security out there, and you don't let nobody else in. And so you sit in and you're waiting. You got 5 guns, and you're waiting for somebody to come take what you got. Instead of going out there and sharing it and making other people's lives happy. And then you'll be happy because you'll be bringing joy to other people. And you won't be bored. But no, you lock yourself away. That's division. Think about that every time you drive through the rich part of town and you see the gated communities and see the houses all way back up and the streets are all one way to keep you from coming down there. It's division. Once you start dividing people, that's the first step. Division and then distraction. Then depression. Because isolation brings on depression. And when you get depressed, devil can tell you anything. You listen? Because you're depressed. It's all to weaken you so that he can get you to his way of thinking. Trust nobody. Help no one. Defend no one. Make everybody out for themselves. When there's somebody that's defenseless, don't help them. Let them sink. That's the way the devil thinks. Do you think that way? At the end of the day, that was a long article. There's still more? Wait a minute. Is there still more? No, that's it. That was a nice article. I'm glad I found that. Is anybody even here? Is anybody even here? Oh, let me see. We'll say that for next time. We'll say that for the next time. Alrighty, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed that little sermon we went on stuck in there. We just went on stuck it in. Like I said, you never know when we're gonna break one out. You never know when I'm gonna get in the mood. But I hope y'all enjoyed that. And I'll see y'all later on. As Sean Lee would say, don't leave home without the wasp spray. As I say, I'll catch you next time. Y'all have a great one. Thanks for watching. And we out. Peace, everybody. And when Marion said, yeah. All right, y'all, let me get out of here. Take it easy. We out.